Hi, and welcome to a video about normative and pragmatic orientation. Normative versus pragmatic orientation was developed by Gerrit Hofstede, a Dutch social psychologist who did pioneering studies of cultures across modern nations. He measured how most people in the past culture, as well as today, relate to the fact that so much that happens around us can't be explained. Normative cultures are ideologically driven. They have a strong desire to explain as much as possible, as well as having a strong concern with establishing the absolute truth and a need for personal stability. They exhibit great respect for social conventions and traditions, a relatively small propensity to save for the future, and a focus on achieving quick results. To normative people, following organizational procedures and establishing a set of rules are more important than long-term results. In contrast, pragmatic cultures are solution-oriented. They believe that truth and complexity depends very much on situation, context, and time. Pragmatic-oriented people show an ability to accept contradictions and adapt according to the circumstances. Pragmatism, in general, is a way of dealing with problems in a sensible, practical way instead of following a set of ideas. People are market-driven, and meeting customer needs are more important. A good example for normative cultures are the United States. Characteristics are, among other things, that they tend to oversell themselves. As a result, others will assess their assertions critically. Furthermore, values and rights are emphasized. Americans have strong convictions and often want to know why. But how do we behave among normative-oriented people? I'm going to give you some tips. Firstly, you should sell yourself to be taken seriously. Secondly, normative people are less willing to compromise, as this would be seen as a weakness. But last but not least, flattery empowers. A good example for pragmatic cultures among solution-oriented countries is China. Characteristics are modesty, but also thrift and education are seen as positive values. They often wonder how to know what is true. In contrast to ideologically driven cultures, they often tend to ask, what and how? Among pragmatic-oriented people, you should behave in a modest way. Moreover, you definitely should avoid talking too much about yourself. They are more willing to compromise, yet this may not always be clear to outsiders. This is certainly so in a culture that also scores high on PDI. In general terms, countries that score highly for PRA tend to be religious and nationalistic. Self-enhancement is also important here, along with a person's desire to please their parents. As you can see, the US scores low on PRA and China has a really high score. We hope you like this video and understand this cultural dimension.